Sound okay? All right. Very good. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the wonderful turnout coming here tonight. It is so, there's a whole bunch of people that had that showed interest in the event, but you never really know if people will actually show up to things, and so it's great that so many of you came out tonight and are interested in this topic and willing to come here on this evening. So welcome to Builders of the Block, which is the first in a series of events that, kind of the idea is to showcase real-world use cases and everything around Web3 and blockchain that, you're at the home of Lisk, so I don't know if you know about Lisk on the blockchain side of things. You're in the Lisk Center, which is their event space, and some of that team are kind of wandering around tonight, so it would be great if you're curious about what Lisk does as a blockchain and what the things are that they're building. Some of the people from the company will speak tonight. But if you're from Lisk, go ahead and raise your hand. I didn't tell them I was going to do that, but I'm going to make them see. There you are. So please grab one of these Lisk people and say, what do you do? What is this Lisk thing tonight? And figure out what they're doing. And so for the rest of you that are here, are you developers? Raise your hand. Okay, you're not. Are you artists? Musicians? Okay, creators in some way? Okay, very good. Startup people on some level? Awesome. Well, it is great that you collect monkey JPEGs. Anybody else collect monkey JPEGs? We good? All right. Marcel's raising his hand. Got you there. So good. Well, it is good to have you here. My name is Ethan Pierce. I am the director of the Crypto Assets Institute, as well as one of the co-founders of the NFT Factory in Paris. The NFT Factory is a 400 square meter physical digital art gallery across the street from Centre Pompidou, which is a huge contemporary art museum. And its purpose, apart from being a digital art gallery, is to serve as France's HQ for Web3, maybe kind of like this place is becoming, and to help brands and entrepreneurs, startups, artists understand Web3 and be able to leverage what that is bringing to the creator economy, to brands, to community, to all kinds of great things. And it's a digital art gallery because that's the physical space. 70 screens. You walk in, it's just a whole bunch of monkey JPEGs everywhere. It's marvelous. But actually, it's not monkey JPEGs. It's beautiful digital art by people like, because I'm going to point him out because he's here, Yu, who's going to go, you fucker, that I just said his name in public. But Yu is a very well-known digital artist. If you like digital art, you should say hi to him because he was on the tickets for NFT NYC last week. It was his art. He was in Times Square with his picture on the big screen. If you like digital art or are interested in that, I know it's a Web3 music night, but when we talk about creators, here's another brilliant person who lives here in Berlin. So anyways, the NFT Factory is about helping that kind of great stuff be visible as well. And so tonight with Lisk, we are launching this series of events to create visibility and ways that people can understand how, in general, the blockchain and Web3 are interesting for Web3, but specifically how Lisk, in its tools, the things that it's building, can be used in order to create those solutions and products and all kinds of good stuff. The events bring together industry experts, projects, builders, artists, and other speakers, like you'll see tonight, to provide a platform really to discuss all of those things. And so building ecosystems and fostering collaboration and innovation, it's what I love. I'm super excited that my friend Marcel, who is CMO here at this wonderful thing, invited me to come and be your MC. So I'll be introducing you tonight to all of your wonderful speakers. Let's see, so anyways, tonight's the beginning. Stay tuned for other great events around other cool topics in Web3 and blockchain and how this is helping to create that innovation. And now to get ourselves started. So just to let you know what's going to go on tonight, we've got a couple people who will speak, then we have a panel. Then we will take a pause for about 20 minutes to drink more beer and have some food. Yay! And then we will get started again with another couple of speakers before we then turn it over to two of our musician artists who are speaking tonight, but who will also then be performing for us, and then a DJ with more beer. So we've got all that handled, and it's great to have you here. Thanks for coming. And to get ourselves started, Ali from Muzikie, if you would like to join me on stage to tell us about what you are building and the details on tonight's special giveaway. Very cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Thank you so much. Happy to see every one of you here. Actually, I wasn't expecting to see so many people, so I'm really excited. My name is Ali. I'm from Lisk and also from Muzikie, which is a decentralized music streaming platform. And just to give you a brief introduction, the idea behind Muzikie came from the fact that after introduction of internet, people became more and more individual people rather than social people that we were before, doing everything together, going to concerts in the groups, and now we enjoy more and more sitting in our home, looking into our computers, into our smartphones, enjoying the media there, and we wanted to bring that interaction more and more, and we wanted to build a platform that enables artists to collaborate with each other on another level, and also with that creating a possibility for people to enjoy a kind of artist that kind of art music that comes from a collaboration, not from a single person, a single label, recording label, and thus bringing more fresh music to people, a new taste, so yeah, this Muzikie platform is built based on Lisk blockchain platform, and today one of the events that's going to happen is that we request you to please sign up for our token airdrop plan, and it's pretty easy. I'm going to introduce how to do it, and in the end of this event we'll collect all the emails and all the Lisk addresses, and we will send you tokens. So the way to do it is, this is Lisk website. You have to go to lisk.com, and if you don't have wallet, you can just click over there. Yeah. So it brings you to this page. You can actually download the wallet that you want, either mobile or desktop. And if you don't have an account, you can just click on Create Now, select your avatar that you like. It's just a matter of the liking, just colors. And yeah, you can copy your passphrase. There is a process that you follow to get your passphrase, and eventually you can get back to the sign-in page, sign in pretty easily using a passphrase that you got, and click there to get your Lisk address. So that's it. There are QR codes there and in the cards that are on the desk and also in the goodie bags. So you can scan them. It will take you to this page that you can fill in your email, your Lisk address, and your social media handles, whichever you have and whichever you like to enter. And just a little bit scroll to the top, you can see our social media accounts. You just need to follow us, and for every social media that you follow us, we will give you 10 tokens. Plus, in addition to the tokens, we have 10 high-quality headphones here that we will give on a random basis throughout the event. I hope that you are the lucky one to win it. Great.
All good?
Yeah, that was
wonderful. Well, I mean, who loves free stuff? Free headphones. Yay! All right, thanks, Ali. So, for our first talk, we are going to have an introduction to NFTs for musicians. So it's a great topic. It's a topic we're going to talk a lot about tonight, different use cases for how NFTs and Web3 is being used. And so to welcome to the stage, our first two speakers actually on this topic, going to be Moritz Stellmacher and Miguel Licio from Lab3. Please welcome them up to the stage. Grab the mic. Do you guys have slides?
No.
Okay, here's no here. It's right here. You don't need, there you go. Just the clicker is all you need. Good to go.
All right, yeah, maybe in the end we'll need also a bit more than a clicker and just show the website to introduce ourselves a bit more, but we'll do it at the end. So yeah, in general, maybe quickly, we had Lab3, which is a community initiative to teach musicians more about blockchain technology. It's based here in Berlin, so we are not really making a lot of digital events or anything like that. We're really focusing on the local scene here in Berlin. We think Berlin is really interesting and unique in this kind of sense because, I mean, Berlin is one of the capitals for electronic music, right? And so I think there are a lot of technical affine people, right, who might be interested in exploring different new technologies. So with that, I think Berlin really stands out as a place, as a hub for musicians to create something with Web3. And that's why we thought it makes a lot of sense to do something here in Berlin, to create a community that's around that. And that's basically the sole purpose of this community, is to think about, yeah, what can we do, educate people around it, create projects together, and also educate. And I think this is also why we are doing the next slide. So this is one of the things that we do at our events. Okay. All right, yeah, so we are Lab 3, and this is a little delay. Yeah, so this is introduction to music NFTs. Maybe first of all, who of you know in detail what NFTs are? All right, okay, we are going to go a little bit technical today, but not really, try to keep it high level, also regarding the time slot. But if you have any questions also during, please raise your hand, or otherwise afterwards. But so this is kind of a high level explanation, but also going maybe into a little bit more detail, so to spark maybe the creativity. To think about what use cases could be possible, and I think that's there are a lot of misconceptions about NFTs, and I think also specifically in the music industry, right? For a lot of people, if they hear the word NFT, they already shut down and say like, hey, I don't want to be a scammer, I don't want to sell my fan base, right? And so I think we need to think about, yeah, also the word NFT is maybe everything that we know about it, but probably right now it's also changing, right? Digital collectibles is what more people maybe use at the moment as the word. But still, it's like interesting to know about the technology and think about what it actually is, right? Because I think a lot of times people might think that they know what it is, but might not really know. And if you really know, I think then you have, you have more. There's more that you can do with it, right? And maybe explore really the things and the paths that nobody else has explored, and do something unique and not just do like something that everybody else is doing. All right. So this should be like a little bit the goal of today. Where do I have to direct it? Ah. Okay. So first of all, as a base, maybe, I mean, everybody has heard about blockchain technology, but maybe how I frame it, and I know that how it's maybe also written there, there's a lot of vectors how you could attack it, right? Like what I wrote there. But in general, I think the main idea is that you can store data in a way that is secure and that is potentially immutable, so not changeable. So I think this is really a very strong thing if you think about it, if you break it down very high level to that. That I mean, before that, it was not really possible for humans to store data in a way that is publicly accessible, but also that it's not easily to be changed by anybody else, right? So usually there's always somebody who has the data, either the apps that you're using or the providers like Google or Amazon, like on AWS that people are hosting the services. So, and whatever data, whatever service you're using, and everybody, I mean, all of our world consists of data today. So, and more, right? Like people spending more and more time on that. And so we are always dependable on somebody, and they could theoretically like take away our access, or yeah, I don't know, like also like countries are changing, right? Authorities are changing. Maybe there's something they don't like about the data. And so we are always dependent on people, and also always people are able to change things. And so I think this is really interesting about blockchain technology, that theoretically and depending on the chain and whatever kind of things, but that this is for the first time that you could store data in a way that is very secure and nobody easily could change it. And so this has a lot of different applications, also maybe apart from NFT that you can think about. Yeah, just maybe that as the framing of how I see it, and maybe that is helpful to think about it. All right, I will try to run also a little bit through certain things. So this I already talked about. Yeah, then it started basically after Bitcoin, right? I mean, probably all of you have heard about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is basically, the only purpose of Bitcoin is to be digital money. At least it was initially. Right now people are also doing other things with it. But afterwards the idea with Ethereum and blockchains, Lisk and other chains that come afterwards is to be multi-purpose, and that you can basically also write computer programs that are then stored and executed on the blockchain. So instead of just storing, I don't know, like for example, just transactions for Bitcoin, right, for the money, now the idea is that you can actually also store computer programs on that, and the data of these computer programs. And these computer programs are called smart contracts, and with these computer programs you can create whatever you imagine. Everything that code can do, you could also do with that. And so like now we have this powerful idea that there's data that nobody can easily change, and now this is applied to, you can create apps that nobody can easily change, and also apps that store the data in ways that nobody can change it, right? And so I think this is also very powerful, and like all of things that you can build on Lisk, things that you can think about is like, okay, where is it really important maybe that nobody can easily change data, right? And I mean, of course, it's for everything that's very valuable, that is financially relevant, that you want to store that in a secure way because you want nobody to take away your funds. But right now, I think as it's trickled down and the easier it gets and the cheaper it gets to do transactions, you can also see more and more different applications that you can do with it, which might be not only financial, and for example, NFTs. Okay, so so the idea about NFTs, I think it's also maybe now, we talked about smart contracts, and so NFTs don't exist out of the blue, right? Like it's not that it's just an NFT. So basically, there are these computer programs who create the NFTs and who provide all of the functionalities that you have in order to create NFTs. And so here we can see like a very, very like simplified of what would be like this program that manages the NFTs, right? So yeah, one of the things is that we store all the owners. So like we have different NFTs that we can issue, for example, in a collection that all would have their different IDs, and then we store like who owns these, right? So like this is one of the things that the computer program does, the smart contract that stores who are they. Then there's another one that you as an owner, you can create a new token, right? And that you can give to somebody. Then there is, I mean, these are very basic functions. I will not go into the details. But so like these are one of the basic functionalities that most of these contracts have, right? And then there's one that is called like where you can transfer tokens, right? If you sell it or whatever, that you can give to somebody else. But I think one of the core things to understand is the NFT is then somebody holds maybe one token of it, but in general, there's this program that manages that. And because you have this program, you can also build all kind of different things with it, right? Like, so we have now here very, very limited main functionalities, but you could also create a lot of different things that you could imagine what you can do. It's a computer program. You can do basically anything that you can imagine with it. And at the end, then the people hold it. All right, let me quickly go through that. Yeah, so we have talked about, I mean, now we have looked a little bit of what it is. And again, maybe to just frame it in a more easier way. So a blockchain-based token, yeah, you can think about it as a tradable digital item that is now stored on this blockchain using this computer program, right? And so they can represent ownership. And they are fungible tokens, which means basically interchangeable tokens. And like these are tokens, like all these coins that you hear about, Ethereum, all of that, it's kind of like money, right? I mean, probably all of you know about that. So I make that brief. But yeah, like I don't know, like I have a €5 bill, and every €5 bill is kind of the same, if it's nothing very special. And so like they're all interchangeable, right? And so this was also how it started. 2017 was this one big hype where everybody created like ICOs, where everybody created tokens that were fungible, where everybody had their own idea and just sold coins for it. And now, what we saw last year is the non-fungible tokens, so not interchangeable tokens, so here each of one is unique, right? As you saw in this program, so we store like who is the owner of which one. It's always, like, obviously you can have multiple of them, but it's always unique. It's one token. And so if we thought about, so here's another way to frame that also maybe in a way that it's maybe, because sometimes people think NFTs are art or something, right? It's interchangeable with art. And I think it's kind of difficult what it also is. But I think maybe a different way of thinking about it, it's more like that it's a tradable certificate that stores ownership on the blockchain. So you can use it more like, so in this database, this computer program, right, this is responsible of storing it. And it could represent anything that you like, right? So it could represent an image, or as we're talking today, like it could represent that you own a song, and then like what you have, how to show that in the end for the user in the browser or somewhere else is that you usually have, as we saw, like here, as we talked about before, there was the field that I didn't explain much, but we can go into that right now. So if you have an NFT, one of the things that you have there is this URI. Right, and so in this URI, kind of like a URL, there you store data in the form of a name, a description, a link to the image, for example, and then something else that you can also, that everybody can add to that. And so this is one of the, that's the metadata standard, so a standard so everybody can easily read that. And this is pretty practical because if everybody would have their own thing defined, how they call, for example, name, title, description, something else, then nobody could read it. But because you have all the wallets, right? You have MetaMask, you have all kind of wallets that you're using, and everybody needs to understand what does it mean, because they want to show the name of the token, maybe of the NFT, they want maybe show the description, they want to show the image links, and for these things you need a standard so that everybody understands what's inside that. But apart from that, you can add a lot of different things. This is something that people now agreed upon, but apart from that, you can also add a lot of properties or whatever you think about. And then on the other side, yeah, like we said before, what else do you have in an NFT? Usually you have an owner, you have a token ID, right? And then you usually know like the contract that it belongs to. And so now we're coming back into why could that be interesting, right? And so like I said, it could be maybe thought of more as a way that you, as a certification that you own something. And so maybe this I will quickly just use as a point maybe to make this a bit more clear. So in general, maybe as an example for now for art, but we can also put that into music, is that imagine that if I would imagine that I buy a photograph that is maybe from a very famous photographer, let's say it's Wolfgang Tillmans, and I buy it for 10,000 euros or something, and then I have the photograph at home, right? But it's very hard for me like to prove that this is actually a real photograph, because it's quite easy to fake a photograph. I mean, Wolfgang Tillmans has special techniques, and that's maybe a bit different, but it's quite easy to fake it, especially for this amount. And so usually if I would go to a gallery, I really need the certificate that I own that, right? Even in the real world, everything is easily to be faked. And so like doing now the certificates for somebody else to prove if it's real or if it's not real, all of these kind of steps we also call like transaction costs, that everything is associated with it. And now if we think about, instead of that I would have the certificate, that maybe if I want to sell the people have to, the photograph, I have to give to somebody else, then so a lot of things are involved with this selling or proving that I own that in order to sell it, right? And so we can think about an NFT in this way, right? That it's in the end, it's maybe just a certificate that is owned, that I own, that I bought, like maybe a digital painting, and instead of going to a real lawyer, to a gallery and get like the paper certificate, I now have it stored in the blockchain, right? And there I know that I bought it, and the next person that buys it from me knows that I bought it from the artist and can see like all the transactions have been done, and because of that they can trust it. And so this was now just an example of an image, but we can think about that also for digital music, right? So we can make digital music rare with that. So basically having something where it's now scarce, because MP3s and all of that you can always pretty easily replicate, and so it's hard to know, it's hard to collect like MP3s, because you can just copy them and then nobody knows like what was the first one. But if we have this way of certifying who owned the NFT first, then there's actually, we can now make this make it possible that it's scarce and make it an actually valuable tradable item that we can use, and people can collect it because of that. And collection is just one of the use cases that we have for that. Here very quickly, the idea is maybe collecting. This enables collecting. This I already talked about. Then this is maybe an interesting idea. That music collectors, as a collector, you can benefit of collecting artists early. I think that probably everybody in the room knows, hey, I found somebody very early in their career, and so I would love to, but what could I do with it, right? I tell my friends about it. But nowadays, as a collector, if you find somebody who's very early, you can buy an NFT probably with them, maybe even profit from them. Another idea is, so this is another idea. I mean, all of that are ideas, right? Who knows how the future turns out, but that's something that we discuss about and we think about, and I'm also happy for you to come to me and talk about that. And one of the ideas that we have, that maybe it could be more similar to art collecting using music NFTs, right? Because like if you're a painter, like most of them don't earn their money by closing it away and just showing it to people who pay for looking at it, right? Most of them want to publish it everywhere on the internet and want it to be seen, but they earn with the money with actually owning it, with selling it to somebody, right? And so one of the ideas could be that music goes in a similar way. Everybody has access to it, but a few people have owned it, and they are the ones who actually make the living for the artists, right? That's also just one of the ideas. And yeah, I have to come to an end. There are a lot of different other use cases. I can send you the presentation, things that we think about. Maybe here's just more things about what's going on in this direction, but maybe just I want to show you this quickly. Yeah, use cases, digital merchandise. Yeah, instead of wearing a t-shirt, you buy an NFT, maybe you show it there, online worlds. Membership club. Yeah, I think most of you already have heard about it, like DAOs and these kind of things, fan clubs. Yeah, you can participate in the upside, you can earn something with it, you can collaborate with your supporters, it can be very collaborative, this whole thing. Crowdfunding, you could crowdfund maybe your vinyl release, and then collectibles, as I said, just somebody who collects music. Okay, and through the presentation, just quickly for us, I don't have the time now to present more about us, but yeah, just visit lab3.space, and if you are around, we will probably also do something together here with Lisk, one event, and we just want to talk about music and NFTs and blockchain in general and explore what's going on, right? Maybe do something together. We are actually part of a developer company, so we can also create the technology with that, and we are always looking into, okay, what can we do in music, because we believe that music is probably the next big thing, and there's definitely a problem for artists to earn money with it, and so that's why I want to explore what's possible there, and yeah, that's all. I think I went slightly overboard, but thank you everybody.
Thank you.